so.
For Anejo, we have, yes. For Anejo now, we have Mamaril Loizaga, that's Chito Loizaga, Philip Cesar, Dante Gonzalgo, and Mike Advani.
All right, Romulo Mamaril, the human beanpole, jumping against Ives Ignatius at the center circle to start hostilities and the maiden appearances of the two sister teams in the all-Filipino initial possession going to the red shirts of Anejo. That's right, the 65ers are in the dark colored uniforms if you're watching this in black and white. They are resplendent in a red and white outfit if you're watching this in blazing color. Zilch all is the count. 20 seconds into the basketball game. Hector Calma, he too has a lot to prove. He was greatly overshadowed by Ronnie Magsanok and seems to have lost his stature as the premier point guard as a result of Magsanok's heroics.
That's correct, Joe. And here the all-Filipino, Hector Calma should come back strong. And, well, Samboy Lim starting out strong for San Miguel Beer.
Well, he actually started this binge right in the All-Star game where he even won the MVP award.
That's correct.
Gonzalgo gets a nice screen from Advani, but bungles the opportunity. Fierce battle for the rebound, results in a foul by Chito. We'll find out soon enough.
Foul, Loizaga.
It is Loizaga's first personal, likewise the first team foul for Anejo.
What will be very important in this ballgame, Joe, will be the rebounding numbers. Without Fernandez and Teng there, San Miguel Beer is not really noted as a strong rebounding team, and without their two top centers, they might even fall further behind Anejo, which is a good team rebounding, in team rebounding.
That's right. Well, the guys who will be expected to carry the burden for San Miguel in that department will be the guy who just fended off the attack of Dante Gonzalgo, but could not prevent the second effort. That was Ives Ignatius.
Yes, and he will have his hands full definitely against the Anejo front line tonight.
Well, joining him there will be Bobby Jose. All right, that's Bobby Jose taking the ball against Romulo Mamaril. Inside, penetration is beautifully executed.
Well, Bobby Jose gives a different dimension to the San Miguel Beer front line because of his slashing type moves inside the paint.
Well, we didn't see very much of that in the first conference. That's because he didn't get too much playing time.
Surprise hit.
Yes,
surprise hit by Mike Advani, in the sense that he caught Hector Calma by surprise.
Well, Mike Advani has this penchant for catching a lot of people by surprise. Okay. Oh, very spirited drive inside. Went for naught. Counter pass breaking the works for the red shirts of Anejo. Loizaga setting up Advani for the open shot. Won't go. Just one crack that time for the 65ers. Hector Calma, the director. Ignatius, the executioner. 8-4. Rousing start here for the Beermen, Mr. Maniego.
Yes, and that is to be expected. Of course, San Miguel Beer starts out very strong because they do have this tight starting unit. And, of course, it will be the bench that will be a question mark for them in this ball game.
And that was Philip Cesar coming through with a move that shows you that he is getting fresh wind in an already storied career.
Well, just to dramatize the deficiency of the San Miguel Beer bench in this ball game, their frontline reserves that are remaining on the bench are Josel Angeles, the untested rookie, and Alfie Almario.
Hey, talking of Josel Angeles, I think he was the one responsible for keeping Ramon Fernandez on the bench because I think he accidentally elbowed the hip pointer of Mon Fernandez in a practice game.
Well, that's one way of getting increased playing time, of course.
We don't mean that he did that intentionally, of course. Maril coming through. We have an 8-all count. 8:35 left in the first period. Advani is on Hector Calma. Ignatius gets him a nice pick, and Calma extricates, misses the shot.
Loose ball foul, Ives Ignatius. And this is the one guy they cannot afford to get into foul trouble in this game.
And if I can divert your attention elsewhere, Mr. Maniego, I wonder if you caught the game between the Pistons and Portland, game number 3, right on the home court of the Trail Blazers.
Well, unfortunately, I did not catch game number 3. I did catch game number 2, though.
Well, it was a very exhilarating experience for the Detroit Pistons because that was the first time they ever beat the Trail Blazers in their home court in 17 years.
That's correct. And maybe Portland was guilty of having history and the theoretical home court advantage playing for them instead of going out and proving themselves on the hard court.
Exactly. you don't lean too much on history.
That's correct.
Because it's history, precisely.
And history doesn't wear a uniform.
I like the way you put it. I also like the way Romulo Mamaril acknowledged that foul. Watch that again in slow-mo. The pump fake by Bobby Jose, and Mamaril took it hook, line, and sinker. Bobby Jose takes a deep breath.
Sophomore out of University of Santo Tomas, and there's Mon Fernandez. No action for him tonight.
Well, he was sidelined in the same manner in the All-Star game, but then we got a very nice glimpse of him exchanging pleasantries with his so-called arch enemy,
well,
Jaworski.
He did even volunteer to act as sort of an assistant coach for that ball game.
I think he did that too. All right, inside Mamaril. Wow. He has a lucky streak going for him because the way he handled that ball before putting it up, he was a sucker for a swat.
Well, we're lucky he's not a member of a bomb disposal unit.
1 point lead for Anejo. 7:22 left in the first period. Ives Dignarize found himself into it, and there's Mamaril asserting might and main off the defensive board. Chito Loizaga ramming right into Hector Calma. Mike Advani. Tight squeeze inside the paint, pays off.
Well, we're going to see Anejo keep on challenging the two big guys of San Miguel Beer, Bobby Jose and Ives Dignarize.
1 point ball game in our hands.
And Miguel Beer not too quick to come down on defense that time. And, well, what do you know? It's Chito Loizaga who beat everybody down the court that time.
That's right. The upper hand now belongs to Anejo. A 3-point lead, 14-11 as we approach the halfway house of the first period. Jose to Ives Dignarize.
Traveling. That's right.
A bit too eager that time. So Anejo is protecting a 3-point lead. 14-11 is the count. Well, now is as good a time to perhaps acquaint our viewers, Mr. Maniego, with a format for this All-Filipino. Not that it's anything new.
Well, we're going to have the same format exactly as the first conference. So, as you mentioned, nothing new.
Double elimination round. And then 5 teams will make it to the semifinals where they play another double round series. Offensive rebounding might being displayed here by the San Miguel Beermen despite the absence of Juan Fernandez and Alvin Teng. And we have the first ceasefire of the ball game.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
5:53 left in the first period. The score is 14-11 for Anejo. This is the main event of tonight's Independence Day doubleheader of the PBA All-Filipino. Samboy gets away scot-free.
Well, Dante Gonzalez did everything he could to stop Samboy, but Samboy took the baseline and got the basket. With 5 minutes and 38 seconds to go, Anejo leads by 1.
You know, if the Dragon can only keep away from injuries in this conference, he will be a mighty big factor in San Miguel's campaign.
And that's always the big if as far as Samboy Lim is concerned.
That's always a big if, yes. It's like whistling in the dark. 3-point bomb exploded by Chito Loizaga gives Anejo another instant 4-point lead.
But maybe this year, now that everybody's been mentioning about that possibility of an injury, maybe this is the year Samboy goes an entire season without checking into the hospital.
Well, of course, everybody is praying that he stays healthy.
Especially the San Miguel Beer fans.
Hector Calma against Mike Advani. Samboy against Dante Gonzalgo. Double team clamped on Samboy. Postanes gets into the scoring act.
Well, Don Postanes is an underrated player still because he has not adjusted to the tighter defense that's being employed here in the PBA. But he will definitely emerge as a potent forward in time.
I'm afraid I can't really agree or disagree with you on that count, Mr. Maniego, because he has hardly had any playing time, so there's no basis for assessing his true worth.
We saw him extensively during his amateur days, and he was really something like a Samboy Lim type without the outside shooting.
They were ahead by 2, 27-25. We're 5 seconds into the second period. There were other fresh legs on the floor there for Anejo, as Chito Loizaga sinks it.
So one of them is Peter Aguilar. Larry Villanil actually checked in sometime late in the first period. Well, for San Miguel Beer, we have Ato Agustin now in the ball game.
Peter Aguilar is on Bobby Jose. Larry Villanil picking up Postanes. And here's Bobby going to France. Pumarin. Hey, that was a daredevil drive. The ball kept alive by Franz himself. Samboy's turn now against Jaworski. No, Agustin, I'm sorry. He's a dead ringer, really, for Samboy, isn't
Yes,
he?
the way he moves.
Somebody picked up splinters there, and it happened to be the destroyer. Boy, there'll be the devil to pay for this.
It's Franz Pumarin who was the guilty party. The decker, not the deckee. Costanes is now pulled out by outfield Mario. This is where San Miguel Beer must try to keep in step with Anejo, because now the bench is coming in and the first stringers are starting to move out.
Forcible entry by Rudy Distrito, a failure. It's 29-25, 4-point lead for Anejo.
Well, Dignadice must conserve himself and not busy himself with tasks of trying to move the ball down court, because that should be the chore of the guard.
That's not his job, clearly.
Especially now that he's the only center left in this team.
Loizaga plugging the ball from the air. Sonny Jaworski bringing it down. And this is vintage Jaworski in full display. 31-25.
Well, we can read some of the signs being hoisted here. Jaworski, our hero, and Anejo Ram 65, we're proud of you.
While the Anejo fans proclaiming their undying loyalty to Jaworski and the team. Another fast break being engineered by Rudy Distrito. Larry Villanil found himself in too deep. Fierce battle for the rebound results in a foul.
Well, Dignadice merely held his ground and held his defensive possession for that rebound.
Incidentally, Mr. Maniego, you remember those very colorful awards nights you hosted with Seb Sarmenta for Best Shots
yes,
magazine. And in this connection, I'd like to thank Congresswoman Nikki Cositeng, who was your special guest of honor, for having sent me a very nice photograph.
Of that night?
Yes.
Okay.
31-25. Larry Villanil consummates.
It's now an 8-point lead for Anejo. They've scored 6 straight points, and Miguel still scoreless here in this second quarter.
Ivestic Natisia seems to have been stunned by that knockdown. Bobby Jose against Peter Aguilar. Here's Bobby. Door shot to his face, but a foul given up by Peter. Second personal on Aguilar.
2 team fouls now for Anejo Ram 65, only 1 for San Miguel. So San Miguel Beer able to nurse their fouls, but they're not really playing the type defense they're noted for.
Nope. Incidentally, pardon us for the oversight. We failed to mention the names of the 3 gentlemen equipped with the whistles tonight. They are Messrs. Ledesma, Rivera, and Chua. Jaworski.
That's a shot of Anejo Ram. No, that's the San Miguel Beer team manager, Jun Gregorio.
Well, the counterpart of Jun Gregorio for Anejo Ram is Mr. Ber Navarro. And Agustin just sunk his charity. As Angeles checks in for Bobby Jose.
Everybody will get a chance to play tonight for San Miguel.
Except Norman Black.
I know, and I know he wants to play.
Oh, boy. 33-27. Villanil hits Loizaga hard, but Loizaga fails. The follow-up likewise a failure. Agustin. Lost his bearings there. Loose ball picked up by the destroyer. In hot pursuit is Franz Pumarin, who simply allowed prudence to be the better part of valor.
And Distrito said, I better not let him catch me again. 9 minutes remaining here in the second period. 8-point lead for Anejo.
Did you see that devastating stat there on shot blocks, Mr. Maniego? 6 for Anejo against nothing for San Miguel. In the meantime, we just saw another foul. Rudy.
Well, Anejo starting to learn the value of having a big shot blocker down the middle. They're trying to learn now how to funnel the ball inside to the human eraser, whoever he is.
Well, somebody erased Ivestic Natisa from the scene. Look at this again. It was Chito Loizaga in conspiracy with Larry Villanil and Peter Aguilar. Peter Aguilar on the offensive side of the court for Anejo. Rudy Distrito lobs it to low post. Foul. Illegal defense.
Warning of San Miguel Beer, Dignadice for illegal defense.
Ignatice was singled out as a culprit in that first infraction, which only resulted in a warning. Of course, needless to say, subsequent violations will result in technicals.
Air ball by Peter Aguilar. A quick look at the San Miguel Beer lineup inside. Right now, we have Ignatice, Pumaren, Agustin, Angeles, and El Mario. This is just a shell of what kind of team San Miguel Beer was fielding last year when they won the Grand Slam.
But don't count them out, Pumaren.
Loose ball foul on Chito Loizaga. Welcome to the PBA, Giselle Angeles.
That's going to be the second personal for Chito Loizaga.
Angeles.
Oh, Angeles, I'm sorry. Oh.
Now it's really welcome to the PBA.
Boy, they sure laid out the map for him. 35-27, 8-point lead for Anejo. Loose ball battle for Franz Pumaren. He hits the tag after getting banged up.
By Rudy Distrito.
Who else? 3-point bomb explodes again for Chito Loizaga.
3 points.
His second triple V collection tonight.
11-point lead now for Anejo. They're in the double-digit zone with 7 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Team foul picture shows them with 4 against 2 for San Miguel Beer. Okay, hold it, fellas, says Mr. Chua.
Foul, Distrito.
Distrito again. Back-to-back fouls here by the Destroyer.
Pumaren.
A spate of substitutes will be checking in right after this timeout.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
7 minutes and 38 left in the first semester of the maiden appearance of the two sister teams in the league, Anejo Rum and San Miguel Beer. The Beermen are the defending champions in this conference. One of 2 remaining thrones that they will be defending this year.
Samboy Lim, Hector Calma back on the floor for San Miguel.
Samboy certainly wasted no time getting back to work. 38-29.
It's only the second basket for San Miguel here in this second quarter.
No explosion that time from Chito Loizaga as Hector Calma brings it downtown for San Miguel. Somebody banged up Agustin in midair and will have to pay for it with a foul.
It's going to be Mike Admani.
While you're watching the replay and as Agustin prepares for 2 free throws, here is an announcement from PTV4. PTV4 wishes to express its regrets over the cancellation of the Banig concert. And I know you will understand this because of the inclement weather. And what did we catch there, Mr. Maniego?
Well, that's perfectly normal behavior during inclement weather.
Oh, I'd love to do that with our producer, Miss Pilar Bustamante, except that she's about a mile away right now.
Isn't there any rule about propositioning on the air?
That's the only way I can do it, because in private she's already spoken for.
Oh, you just drove away everybody from Pilar.
Aguilar misses on the follow-up. Somebody waved a wayward elbow.
Foul, Aguilar.
Aguilar with his third personal.
When you mentioned elbow, Aguilar instantly came to mind.
38-31. We're approaching the halfway point of the second period. All right, Anejo is already in penalty, while San Miguel has kept its team fouls down to just 2. The drive by Hector Calma aborted by an error. Going to be a turnover for the red shirts of Anejo. Norman Black seems to be very worried at this point.
Well, he has reason to be. They're doing everything they can. They're still down by 7. Perfect smothering this defense put up by Ives Ignatice against his former NCC buddy.
Peter Aguilar, huh?
Yes, and I believe that's the first shot block for San Miguel Beer.
Couple of subs checking in for Anejo Rum. Actually 3.
Hat trick of substitutions.
So, let's review the unit now for Sonny Jaworski on the floor. Philip Cesar, Mike Advani, Romulo Mamaril, Jaworski himself, and Dante Gonzalgo. Here's the Big J against Samboy. Calma picking up Dante.
Actually, that was Agustin.
Oh, it was Agustin who picked up Dante Gonzalgo's miss. 38-31, still a 7-point lead going for Anejo with 6:13 in the balance for the second period. Lim against Jaworski.
Offensive foul on Samboy Lim, forcing the matter against Sonny Jaworski. Jaworski probably telling him that's no way to treat your coach in the national team. Well, we're
if
not
you
saying-
will wind up in the national team after that.
Well, I'm sure Samboy is already practically a shoe-in for that national team.
Oh, no question about that. He's probably one of the seeded players.
Yes, one of the 4 or 5, along with Fernandez, Paras, Patrimonio, and Kay Dick.
I wonder when they're going to tap Bill Velasco.
For the national team?
Why not?
In what?
Why not? He scored 37 points in Vintage's conquest over Duan Radio only last Saturday. Here's a pass breaking the works for San Miguel. Just sour grapes on your part, Mr. Maniego, because Bill Velasco and company clobbered your team about 3 weeks ago.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, okay. Are you telling me then that they won't be able to do the same thing if they meet again?
Yes, I believe so, although probably get the senior team of our company to play against them. Of course, our senior team boasts of some ex-pros like Joe Bonal and Tata Merced.
That's no fair.
And I think we're playing in the Nike Primo tournament, which is a tournament for print media organizations. So if there's a basketball tournament for broadcasters, there's also one for print.
Well, basketball indeed is the best and most popular pastime in this country as we find a fierce battle for the rebound, and the ball will stay with Anejo.
Well, hopefully also there will be another league involving media men that will be sponsored by the National Press Club pretty soon.
So we're going to have at least 10 leagues going on at the same time.
That's correct. It really is basketball country, Joe. 7-point lead for Anejo with 5 minutes and 23 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Exact tally is 40-33. Agustin gets a nice bone-crunching pick there from Samboy Lim.
That's a foul.
That's Advani repaid the compliment by nudging Agustin out of bounds.
Foul, Advani. Penalty.
That's going to be the 4th personal for Mike Advani. And
Advani.
don't look now, but the grizzled veteran of many a Crispa and Anejo war. Well, he was also with the Tanduay team for a time. Freddie Hobalde has just checked in.
We have 3 former Crispa players on the hard court for Anejo. Philip Cesar, Freddie Hubalde, and Romulo Mamaril.
Very nice observation. And this really reminds you of that fabled Crispa-Toyota rivalry of old, except that they are now all playing in the same team. Aside Jaworski representing Toyota there, huh? Dante Gonzalgo, the only one who wasn't a former Toyotan or Crispan. Here's Dante. Hold it.
Traveling.
What happened there was he wanted to make sure he was in three-point country. In the process, he lifted his pivot foot.
Probably did the Texas two-step there.
Yes.
Well, not many people remember that Dante Gonzalgo actually began his pro career in the San Miguel uniform of Magnolia about 5 or 6 years ago, Gold Eagle or something like that.
Well, he did start out with the San Miguel franchise.
That's correct. Ages ago.
Jaworski. They don't come any smarter than that. 42-37.
Well, San Miguel Beer able to stick around, and maybe that's all they need here in this ballgame. Just hang around, Anejo.
Hector's drive will count as a foul from Freddie Hubalde. 4 minutes and 26 is where the game clock has been frozen. And for question number 2 in Sarzi's Angat Sa Iba basket trivia, who is the old Black Magic's director? How about that? Who is the old Black Magic's director?
Jaworski, 3 points.
An ICBM exploded by Sonny Jaworski while I'm still trying to figure out the real question here. Is it who is the old Black Magic or who is the director? Or who is the old Black Magic's director?
Yeah.
Ayun. In short, who is Norman Black's director?
Yes.
In other words, who is Norman Black's Hector Calma?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Write your name, address, signature, and telephone number in your entries together with 3 Sarsi crowns and drop them at Ultra Drop Boxes or at the Vintage Office 105C Palanga Street, Legazpi Village, Makati. Sarsi, Angat Sa Iba Basket Trivia, brought to you by Diet Sarsi with 100% Nutra Sweet.
Oh, we really want to give away that money, so we don't want to make it hard for you guys.
course. And I'm in a very charitable mood tonight. Maybe I'll give him the answers to all the future questions, too.
Well, since you're being very charitable, might as well greet Joel Pasco with a very happy birthday.
Offensive foul.
Joel.
Mamaril.
Our scorer.
Angie?
No, Joel.
Joel.
The other guy.
Oh, the other guy.
Mamaril.
It's his birthday today?
Yes, but he has gone down already. Maybe starting preparations for his party.
No, he's just avoiding getting tapped for a blowout. 45-39 is the count. 6-point lead for Anejo. 3:38 left in the first half. Calma against Freddy. Ostanis against Jaworski. They've cleared the right side of the court for him. The isolation play blew up right in their faces. Last break again being engineered by the red shirts. Here's Jaworski. Gets it right back to Ubalde. Ubalde had a very clear path inside.
That was because somebody moved earth.
Offensive foul. Loizaga.
The heroic of Ubalde was nullified by the offensive foul of Loizaga.
And Giselle Angeles now has to sit down for Bobby Jose. It was Giselle Angeles who was the victim of that last play.
We've been talking about Bill Velasco earlier. Well, Bill Velasco will be continuing his series on the PBA team's preparations for this All-Filipino Conference on KP at the half. Coming your way, where else? At halftime. 45-39, 6-point advantage for Anejo. Ignatice with a pump fake, runs into a gauntlet of defenders. He flubbed it. Gonzalgo right down the middle.
Traveling violation, Dante Gonzalgo.
You know, the red shirts seem to be having a field day, cutting and slicing through that paint, but they are always either guilty of a foul or an error somewhere. We shall return. Action continues with San Miguel inbounding. Hector Kamala bringing it downtown. Finally got it safely to the front court for San Miguel Beer with 2 minutes and 47 left in the first half. Bobby Jose in three-point country. Samboy Lim will challenge Dante Gonzalgo anew. Here he comes. Yes. Samboy has already belched fire to the tune of 8 points.
But they still need a lot more from him to challenge Anejo Rum 65, especially in the second half.
Well, Anejo Rum is still up by 4, 45-41. Here is Philip Cesar. Frontal assault to the basket against Samboy Lim himself. Back to a 6-point lead for Anejo. You know, the rejuvenation of Philip Cesar, not only in the All-Filipino, but also in the All-Star game, has been nothing short of amazing. Bobby Jose's drive is a failure. Ostanis travels.
Lifted his pivot foot. With under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter, Anejo protecting a 6-point lead.
Freddy Ubalde keeps it alive for Anejo. Look at that.
There's going to be a blocking foul on Bobby Jose. Freddy Ubalde needs to get into the scoring picture because he needs only 107 points to become the 8th member of the 10,000 point club here in the PBA.
That is the elite of the elite clubs. 10,000 points.
Well, we have 2 guys on the floor for Anejo, Cesar and Jaworski, both members of that club, along with Atoy Comon, Fernandez, Adornado Arnaiz, and Gidaben. Adornado and Arnaiz, of course, have already retired along with Atoy Co. It's also, Freddy Ubalde, some more notes on him. He's also closing in on 2,000 assists. He needs just 27 more.
So, Freddy Ubalde is gunning for history in the next few ball games of Anejo as Dante Gonzalgo comes out of nowhere to save the situation for the 65ers. They're up by 8 now, 49-41. Here's Hector Calma picking up speed against Freddy Ubalde and a whole phalanx of defenders. The defense worked. Sonny Jaworski brings it to the other end of the floor. Rejected 2. Samboy has to pick himself up from the floor.
Ignatice finally given a rest in the minute and 15 seconds remaining in the second period after playing from the start of the ball game without a break.
Well, he's probably a little winded. 49-41, 8-point lead for Anejo. Team foul picture. Anejo already in penalty as far back as 2 minutes ago, while San Miguel is on the verge of it with 6. Jose got a nice assist there from the Dragon.
Ball knocked away by Freddy Ubalde.
Hey, the Pioneers are really showing up the young uns tonight, huh?
Just to continue the trend set by the All-Star game.
Hector gets into position for the air ball. No saving grace there from Angeles, neither from Bobby Jose. Here's the Big J, Chito Loizaga. The express train got to the destination again.
So, 4 straight points by Anejo gives them a 10-point lead once again, 51-41.
This is their second double-digit spread, eh?
Yes.
Only 30 seconds before both clubs repair to the locker room for the halftime break. Postanis.
Not his shot.
Not his night. Whoa, look at that.
No foul.
Angeles. Cook Phillips says are in the air with him. Here's Philip. I think he's sore. Loizaga from the corner. 2 red shirts disputing the offensive rebound, but too late for anything else. That should do it for the first half. 51-43. Hector Calma at point. Ibistic Nabize playing the center. Bobby Jose along with Samboy Lim, and the 5th guy is Angeles. There's a steal by the Dragon, and Angeles is going for a stroll in the park.
It's important for San Miguel Beer to be able to stay close to Anejo around 65 for most of this third quarter, because at least in the fourth, if they have a chance in the fourth quarter, then they might be able to pull off an upset.
An upset of colossal proportions at that.
That's correct. Playing without Mon Fernandez and Alvin Teng. No joke for San Miguel.
Nope. Of course, Ricardo Brown. Any word about Ricardo from your end, Mr. Maniego?
Well, I just read in the column of Quinito Henson in the Philippine Star that Ricardo Brown has just enrolled at Pepperdine University to complete his study, so I don't think he's coming back pretty soon.
Well, if he has just enrolled, then that might exclude him from further activity, at least in this year's wars. 51-47, 4-point lead for Anejo. Bobby Jose going up. Yes, sir. Again.
Anejo's defense has been very lax here in the opening period. They've allowed San Miguel Beer to score unmolested on their last 3 shots, and the Beermen are now breathing down the necks of the 65ers again.
And they better believe it. That's just a 2-point lead they're protecting right now. Freddy Ubalde in 3-point country. Chito Loizaga against Bobby Jose. Uncorks from there.
Chito Loizaga, high point man for Anejo in the first half. He now has a total of 16.
And a 4-point lead for the 65ers. Certainly a lot more comfortable than a solo basket. Dignabise's lateral assault to the basket didn't pay off, with Chito Loizaga blocking it off the air for Anejo. Here's the destroyer. Almost stripped away by Hector Calma. Dandy Gonzalgo. He hasn't been very much of a factor in production for the 65ers in this ballgame so far. Freddy Ubalde.
Probably having to guard Samboy Lim, taking away some of the effectiveness of Gonzalgo on offense, but Ubalde responds and ups the lead of Anejo once again to 6.
You're right, Butch. Guarding Samboy Lim is practically a full-time job for anybody.
Yes.
The 3-point shot by Samboy, however, wouldn't drop. And here's Gonzalgo. Rudy Distrito. Oh, he's sore. He doesn't have anybody but himself to blame. Look at this. The ball slipped clear past his fingers, and he gives a very disgusted kick. Preemptive foul given up by Romulo Mamaril on the drive by Bobby Jose. No 2 free throws here. Foul was committed long before the act of shooting.
And Mamaril was actually guarding Ives Ignatius. He just doubled off on Bobby Jose.
Samboy against Dante. What else is new? Here comes Samboy.
Samboy getting away with a push that time.
That's right. He's learning to cope with a very sticky defense of Dante. Oh, Rudy Distrito.
Well, Hector Calma's not going to grow anymore.
Foul, Calma.
Well, that was a very, very gentlemanly thing for Rudy to do.
Not to step on
Yes, look
Hector's
at
face.
He studiously avoided stepping on poor Hector. Freddy Ubaldi, a little bit intimidated at first by the presence of Dignadize, but finally decided to cut loose.
So after San Miguel Beer opened with 6 straight points, Anejo answering with their own 6-point barrage to up the lead once again to 8.
57-49 is the official tally. One team foul apiece. Romulo Mamaril hounding Bobby Jose. Bobby Jose having a field day running the gauntlet. But
Mamaril merely waited for him at the basket.
Got him anyway, huh?
Yeah.
Frontal assault to the basket by Romulo Mamaril. Nothing there from him. Hector Calma brings it downtown for the White Shirts. Confronted by Rudy Distrito, he goes to the main man, Samboy. Off-balance shot. Fast break being engineered by the Destroyer. It won't happen. He'll have to take it from 15, but he makes it anyway.
Well, Anejo on the run now. They've upped their lead to 10 once again. 8 minutes and 7 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Well, this ball game is being played in spurts. Mostly the spurts coming from Anejo. 7:58 left in the third quarter. Dignadize tries to hit the baseline drive there by Angeles, but it was telegraphed. Here's Nandi Gonzalez. He's grimly determined to come through with 2 points.
Somehow.
Big rebound for Bobby Jose. Near steal by Rudy Distrito. It is completed as Freddy Ubaldi plants claw securely on the leather and puts it into the iron.
4 points now for Freddy Ubaldi. There's only 103 points away from 10,000.
I don't think he will reach that plateau tonight, Mr. Maniego.
Well, yes, not tonight.
I'll give him a few more games. Angeles to some. Ball almost lost there through carelessness. The shot clock is about to expire on them. Down to 2 seconds. The shot is up. Dignadize coming through in the nick of time.
And the lead of Anejo sliced back to 10 with 6:57 remaining.
Well, the 65ers have had firm control of this ball game. They haven't really relinquished that lead since they established it midway in the first period. We're approaching the halfway house of the third quarter. 61-51 is the count. Rudy Distrito against Hector Calma. Hold it, says Mr. Ledesma.
Foul came before the shot.
Foul, Calma.
Going to be the third on Hector Calma.
Jose.
2 team fouls for San Miguel, 1 for Anejo. We have a timeout.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
3-point shot by Rudy.
Distrito, 3
He
points.
took it so nonchalantly, you'd think he had absolutely no doubts that he would make it.
And now it's a 13-point spread for Anejo. Well, we did notice so far in this ballgame that San Miguel Beer not really playing with the usual intensity that they're noted for.
Well, the absence of Mon Fernandez and Alvin Teng certainly is a big blow to their cause tonight, and it can really put your morale on a low ebb. Ubaldi getting away from Angeles.
Well, there's no reason why Freddy can't go for the whole enchilada tonight.
Foul, Lim.
Samboy just collected his second personal in the attempt to thwart Freddy Ubaldi. Baker's dozen lead going for Anejo, which could be sweetened to 14, maybe even 15. And here's Norman Black, very pensive. I'd give $1 million for his thoughts right now, if I had $1 million. But I don't, so they'll just forget it.
Going through his mind, I think is, oh no, the lead is going up.
Yeah.
We don't want to be humiliated.
Well, he's looking for at least a respectable showing here for San Miguel Beer, whether they win or lose.
That's correct.
66-51, a 15-point advantage now for Anejo. The turnaround, 360 degrees. Nothing from Ives. Rudy Distrito out-sprinting all the red shirts beside him. Loizaga goes to Freddy. Door shot to his face by Angeles. He tries the back door. Loizaga keeps it alive for the red shirts. A good assist to Dante. Dismal failure from three-point country by Gonzalgo. Score run change at 66-51 as Samboy goes to work. Well, they've got his number. They're double-teaming, triple-teaming him even.
That's correct. Smart move on the part of Anejo 65. They know Samboy Lim is the only consistent point producer on the floor for San Miguel Beer, actually for this ball game. So they're just keying the defense on him. Stop Samboy tonight, stop San Miguel.
Simple as all that. Chito Loizaga looking for somebody to receive the ball. Okay, nobody there. I'll take it myself.
25 seconds violation.
Well, probably didn't get dizzy enough to read the shot clock with all the spinning he did. Angeles will move out. Ato Agustin will come into the ballgame. Agustin is one guy who they will need, who San Miguel Beer is hoping can produce in this ballgame. He's explosive and he can help Samboy Lim in the offensive duties for San Miguel.
Explosive is absolutely right. We've seen him score 25 points in a single ball game where he was kept down to maybe about nothing in previous games. Here he comes. Everybody and his brother diving for the leather.
And we're going to have a jump in front of the San Miguel basket.
And a new ball was also requested by Mr. Ledesma. I think they mangled that ball beyond recognition. Dante versus Ives. Okay, we'll have to do it. We will have to do it all over again.
It would be interesting to find out how many balls that the PBA actually uses during an entire year. Probably not all that many.
You're the master of sports trivia, Mr. Maniego. You figure it out.
We'll find out.
66-51, 15-point lead for Anejo. 4:16 left in the third period. Chito Loizaga preparing to make his move. Gets a nice pick from Rudy Distrito, but Postanes is right back on top of him. Good defensive posture by Postanes, who also got the rebound.
4-on-2 break.
He figures to go all the way. Yes, he does.
Gets the basket and the foul.
Foul Distrito.
3 dimensions of Postanes' performance in full display in that single bit of action. First, he displayed good defense against Chito Loizaga. He also stole the ball, and he went for the hoop, too.
Maybe we can, he's a diamond in the rough, Dong Postanes. That's why maybe we can call him Dodong Diamond or something like that.
That's not bad. Okay, Dodong Diamond looking for his 7th marker. All of a sudden, he didn't look very much like a jewel.
Looked more like cut glass that time.
66-53, still a Baker's dozen lead going for the 65ers. Looking for win number 1 right in their very first outing here in the Old Filipino. Rudy against France. Illegal defense. Again called on San Miguel, and this time it's going to be a technical.
Technical foul San Miguel Beer. Tignan for illegal defense.
And Rudy Distrito goes to the stripe without consulting anybody. He probably figured, hey, Chito Loizaga will take it.
Warning on Tignan.
Well, both of them certainly good free throw shooters.
Incidentally, this is the main event in tonight's doubleheader. The first game will be brought to you right after this match, and this will see the initial game of both Presto and Pepsi Cola. It's been a long time since we saw Pepsi Cola, so Pepsi fans would do well to stay up for that game, which will probably take you all the way to the wee hours of the morning.
We'll check on their first conference free throw percentages, Joe. Rudy Distrito is 83% and Chito Loizaga is 87%.
Not bad.
Not bad for both.
That was a careless shot taken by Dante Gonzalgo. Didn't have a chance at all. Agustin going for the fast break to Samboy's home run.
Probably the easiest basket for Samboy Lim all evening long.
He's had to bleed for all his previous points. 67-55. Rudy put a tall arc, and Freddie keeps it alive for the red shirts. Here's Romulo Mamaril. Ignatize was able to tie him up, but the ball slipped past his hands, and it's going to stay with Anejo. There's Norman.
I wish he could play.
He can't figure out what posture to take. First, he's sitting down, then he's standing up. Now, he is half kneeling down on the floor. Squatting, actually.
Philip Cesar returning to action for Chito Loizaga. Nothing really wrong with Chito Loizaga's play, but maybe he has earned a rest.
Well, he contributed 2 ICBMs tonight. 67-55, dozen-point lead for Anejo. Dante Gonzalgo inbounding from the baseline. Long, tall pass to Philip Cesar. Here's Prince Philip. The turnaround. A tad short.
I think it was Dignadice who tipped the ball in. Let's check if we have the slow-mo on that.
I'm glad you brought it up because I couldn't believe my eyes, Mr. Banyego. I thought it was playing tricks on me. Let's see this. Yes, it was him, all right.
The basket should be credited to Romulo Mamaril, who was the closest Anejo player, I believe, to the action.
That's the rule. 69-57. An unearned basket there for Romulo Mamaril. 12-point lead for Anejo. 2:23 left in the third period. Here's Freddy Ubaldi against the outstretched arms of Agustin. It won't go that time. Hey, Postanes is showing terrific might off the defensive boards. A Samboy scoots home for another home run.
So the lead of Anejo down to 10 points with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining here in the third.
69-59. Attempted heist by Franz Pumaren, blows up right in his face. Gonna be his second personal as we move to another timeout. Coming out of a worried huddle with Norman Pag is the gallant five for San Miguel Beer, composed of Ato Agustin, Ives Dignadice, Franz Pumaren at point, Postanes, Samboy Lim. For Sonny Jaworski, well, he is leading the unit himself with Dante Gonzalgo, Philip Cesar, Romulo Mamaril, and this guy who's about to make his move, whose path was blocked by Samboy, that's Larry Villanil. That's going to be his third personal.
Well, on screen we can see Dindo Pumaran together with Brent Carmichael. Brent Carmichael, of course, the import of Magnolia in the PBL Challenge Cup.
I understand these guys will be the guest of the Scoop sa Kamayan. Is it going to be tomorrow? Anyway,
Friday,
okay. Franz Pumaren in the attempt to take the ball away from Sonny Jaworski commits a foul, but that big round of applause was intended for Sonny Jaworski, who took a nice cartwheel there after hitting the ground. Look at this. Do you believe this guy's 44 years old? I used to be able to do that about 30 years ago.
When you were 10.
I'll make that 5.
Okay.
Mr. Ledesma spots a foul.
Foul, Agustin.
Agustin with a second personal.
And this time, San Miguel Beer that races to the penalty mark with a minute and 34 seconds remaining. However, Anejo with only 2 team fouls.
Dante Gonzalgo fires over the head of Agustin.
Well, the 3-inch height advantage used to the max by Dante Gonzalgo.
Is now in double figures. 10 points for Dante. 71-59. Dozen-point lead for Anejo. Samboy trying to ward off the moving defense of Larry Villanil. Elicits the foul from Larry.
Well, the book says you can't do it alone, but Samboy Lim obviously hasn't read that book.
No. He threw away all the books. And he's just doing his thing.
Yeah, well, if there's one player who can do it all, it's probably Samboy.
Villanil. It's costing him a lot trying to guard Samboy.
Foul, Villanil.
Well, the reason Dante Gonzalgo has been able to pile up a lot of points is because Jaworski took him away from Samboy.
Yes, he earned a reprieve.
Here's Samboy again. The silver lining amidst an otherwise dark horizon for the San Miguel Beermen is the towering performance tonight of the Skywalker or the Dragon. Call him whatever you will. Philip Cesar. Yes, sir.
Used to be the scholar, probably can be called the Renaissance man now.
Agustin.
Well, he must be a full professor by now.
Okay. Bobby Jose coming back into the ballgame for Ato Agustin for added ceiling on the part of San Miguel.
And about this point, I am about to pop my second Jubilon E+ capsule into my mouth. And that's going to allow me to last the rest of this ball game and also enable me to dance the night away at Faces. Hey, I'm not selling you Jones Bridge when I harp on the merits of Jubilon E+. It really works on me. I'm sure it works for a lot of the superstars down there. Jubilon E+, it's essential. Mamaril is on Dignadice.
5 on the shot clock.
Jaworski intervened. Succeeded in stripping the ball away. Dignadice almost regained it in the backcourt. Bobby Jose saves the situation for San Miguel Beer. He's going to go all the way.
Missing on the left-handed layup. 3-on-2 break. between the legs.
Now we've seen everything. That bit of action certainly brought the house down. It started up with an unbelievable under the leg clash by Sonny Jaworski. Watch this. Look at this. Boop. Up along Cassidy. And then Larry Villanil is going to do something that nobody can really do deliberately, even if he tried a million times.
That's a lodged ball. However, there was a foul. Take 2 for Villanil. Well, Anejo did not attempt a single free throw in the first half. They're making up for it here in the third period.
Game clock has been frozen at 11 seconds. That's how much time remains in the third period. We still have a full 12 minutes for the final stretch. In the meantime, we've got a fresh 14-point lead for Anejo, 75-61.
I predict that that pass by Jaworski between the legs will be frozen for eternity.
30-foot shot by Samboy, almost dropped. The follow-up by Ives came too late, but it didn't drop, so it's all academic. So San Miguel is looking at a 14-point deficit as we prepare for fourth quarter. We're into the last quarter. 12 minutes remaining in the main event of tonight's Independence Day offering of the PBA All-Filipino Conference. A big 14-point lead going for Anejo. San Miguel launches its offensive. Bobby Jose lobs it to low post. Ives Dignadice can't seem to extricate himself from Romulo Mamaril. Fires anyway on a follow-away.
The only shot that he could take in that situation against Mamaril, and he makes it.
The elongated tentacles of Romulo Mamaril, once wrapped around your body, can really bother you. And there is Samboy rejecting Villanil. He misses a second time. Samboy has the leather with the right wing. Let's see him go past Gonzalo and Villanil. He's right in the thick of the battle for the rebound, but Mamaril prevails. Jaworski is in open court. He's on the fast lane. A failure. They've certainly picked up the tempo at this stage. Franz Kumarin cutting loose from 18, gets the ball right back. He's going to try from three-point country. Nope, he dances inside, gets it to Pustanis. The finger roll didn't work. San Miguel is having a lot of opportunities, which they are bungling. Villanil left open.
Villanil getting into the scoring picture for Anejo around 65, and that's true. Joe, San Miguel Beer, they do have a lot of open layups already, but they are missing them.
Well, this wouldn't be such a lopsided score if they had just converted on those easy opportunities.
Yes, they missed at least 4 easy layups in this ball game so far.
77-63. Contalos to the basket, swatted by Mamaril, and he does the same thing to Pustanis.
However, there is a foul whistle on Mamaril.
Foul Mamaril.
That guy is becoming a very intimidating presence on the floor there for Anejo. Well, in the absence of Sylvester Gray, who had also mastered the art of swatting shots, Mamaril has taken over.
There's a lopsided advantage for Anejo around 65 as far as blocked shots are concerned. Maybe we can flash that stat later.
Good shooting hand displayed by Pustanis. And a helpless Ramon Fernandez watching from the sidelines in civilian clothes. (77-64). Baker's dozen spread for Anejo. A shovel pass by Sonny Jaworski is intercepted by Pustanis. 10-10 remaining in this basketball game. Franz Pumarin cops out at the side of Jaworski. Samboy.
He's going to take Villanil home with him.
Foul Villanil.
He's got such terrific upper body strength that even a very rugged hombre like Larry Villanil could not really prevent him. They got the ball to Samboy again. There's that familiar confrontation with Villanil. This time he took it from 16. Jaworski with a long diagonal to Villanil. The double team worked beautifully.
And it's going to be a loose ball foul as well on Villanil. It's going to be his fourth. 3 team fouls now for Anejo, none so far for San Miguel Beer. 9:48 remaining in this ball game.
And that fourth personal of Larry Villanil served as the cue for Chito Loizaga to check in.
And there's going to be a switch on the defense. Gonzaga goes back to Samboy Lim.
9:42 remaining. Samboy against Dante, like you pointed out. And here's Bobby Jose inside heavy traffic. Rejected.
Everybody hamming it up.
You know, this ball game has really assumed very rugged proportions. But none of the rough housing and dirty tactics that you would normally expect.
Yes. Nice. Actually, it was a drop-off pass by Bobby Jose for Giselle Angeles. Angeles makes the first.
Josel Angeles. It's a very unusual first name.
If I'm not mistaken, he's from Cavite.
77-66, 11-point lead for Anejo.
Well, Dante Gonzalez's Bicol Express shot didn't go in that time. And a loose ball foul on Philip Cesar. That's the 15th foul now for Anejo, number 65.
And only the first for Philip Cesar. 77-66 is the count. Franz Pumarin.
Well, I would say this is a low-scoring game.
This is very similar to the first game we witnessed between Pepsi Cola and Presto, but the scoring picked up in the last few minutes of that ball game. Well, you will get to watch that on a delayed basis right after this match between Anejo and San Miguel, and Jaworski is going to be called for an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, Jaworski.
Second personal for the Big J. With 9 minutes and 7 seconds left in the ball game, all is not lost for San Miguel Beer. That's just an 11-point deficit they're looking at. Could have been 9 if the drive by Angeles had worked. But he'll go to the line. Mamaril with his fifth. So, Mamaril.
Well, the reverse is happening. Anejo hoping to put the San Miguel big guys in foul trouble. It's their big guys that are landing in that situation.
Well, Mamaril is the likeliest candidate for disqualification. That it won't happen in the next several minutes because he has just been relieved by Peter Aguilar. Incidentally, the recipe for a perfectly delicious show will be yours very soon. Watch the Men in Music together with Miss Bernie Varga, Oji Alcacid, and Carlo Orosa in a show that's sure to fill your appetite. June 22 and 23, Friday and Saturday, 9 p.m. Men in Music at the Music Museum. And I'm supposed to say, okay. Tickets available at the Music Museum and select the Cheki's outfit. That last was for that last conversion, 79-68.
By Peter Aguilar.
Near steal by Philip Cesar.
Traveling violation, and even Dignadice is obviously disappointed in himself.
Obviously disappointed and also obviously tired. He's been playing practically without relief, except for one time when he was benched for a few minutes by Norman Black. Here comes Samboy. Look at him threading the needle.
Yeah.
And the Beermen are back in business, down to just a single digit. Another opportunity in the horizon for the defending champions.
Ball knocked away by Gonzalo. It will stay with San Miguel Beer. There will be a substitution, Calma for Pumaran, and a ceasefire call.
Timeout, Anejo, round 65.
Interest has certainly picked up in this ball game after San Miguel broke through that double-digit barrier to chop down the deficit to just 9 points. They also have the ball on their side of the floor. Here's Samboy Lim making his move against Dante Gonzalo. A look. Angeles coming out of nowhere, and it's just a 7-point lead now for Anejo.
Well, Angeles took the ball away from Peter Aguilar, who already had a defensive rebound. That's hustle for you, Joe.
Well, the same intensity and determination of San Miguel Beer that made them champions for 4 consecutive conferences in 88 and 89 are manifest again at this juncture of the ball game. But that conversion on the Anejo side of the floor just increased their lead again to 9. 81-72. Here's Angeles getting a lot of playing time tonight from Norman Black. Calma moves closer. Bullseye.
Well, the bench has done its job for San Miguel Beer, and now it's up to the frontliners to deliver the final uphill climb if they still have it in them.
Well, not if Chito Lizaga keeps connecting from just about every conceivable angle. 83-74. Bench scoring. Look at this. San Miguel Beer came up with 18 against Anejo's 33.
Well, most of the points of San Miguel off the bench coming from Giselle Angeles.
That was a mad sprint for the ball between Dante Gonzalgo and Samboy Lim. Jaworski with a very tight pass to Chito Loizaga, and the inevitable foul is called by Mr. Ledesma.
It's going to go against Giselle Angeles.
Foul Angeles.
Again, the game clock is frozen. It reads 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Presto versus Pepsi Cola in the first game, which will be shown on a delayed basis right after this match. And of course, we'll also be passing out our usual awards right after this game. First, our Jollibee Best Player, and then our Sharpshooter of the game, who will be going home with one Sharp JC headphone stereo. You know, in the honor roll of our Sharpshooters, I think the guy on top is Jojo Lastimosa, who has already won the award at least 7 times.
He'll probably have enough appliances for a whole house after this year is through.
I'm wondering how many ears he's got.
Foul Gonzalgo.
He has 7 pairs already.
I think once you win 5 JC headphone stereo sets, you can exchange it for an appliance of your choice.
Is that a fact now?
Yes.
Don't they give that to free shooters among the panelists? Because I'm surely not going to win it.
Maybe they should have a free throw shooting contest.
Dignadize is visibly tired.
Yeah, he's breathing through his mouth. It's a sure sign of fatigue.
Practically gulped all the oxygen inside the Ultra with that second charity. 85-75, still a double-digit spread going for Anejo with 6:22 left in the ball game.
Foul Dignadice.
That's going to be the second personal for Ives Dignadice. That's amazing, considering that he had been on the floor almost all night, and he had been playing magnificent defense.
Well, he's doing everything he can, but Anejo Rum 65 continues to come at San Miguel Beer in waves.
Practically drowning them at this point.
Yes.
11-point advantage for San Miguel. Makes that Anejo Ram, and Samboy Lim was fouled from behind.
That's going to be 2 free throws for Samboy Lim because Anejo Ram 65 is already in penalty, which is something San Miguel Beer may be able to exploit here in the final 6 minutes of the ball game.
Going back to that last bit of action, I think Dante Gonzalgo simply followed the line of least resistance. He was too tired to go galloping down court and chasing Samboy Lim, so he just gave up the foul right in the backcourt. And it pays off. Yes. Samboy missing the first charity.
Well, Samboy Lim also visibly tired at this point.
I don't believe that. 2 successive failures by Samboy. Very uncharacteristic of the Dragon. 86-75 is still the count. 11-point lead for San Miguel Beer. We're at the exact halfway point of the final quarter. Philip against Dignadice. And
Dignadice showing his Iloilo traits there with a football kick.
I think he's trying to vie for a berth in the World Cup.
Yes, which is ongoing right now. It's the biggest sporting event in the world.
Every 4 years it happens.
Yes, other than the Olympics, of course.
They say it's even bigger than the Olympics as far as the Europeans are concerned anyway.
Yes.
Peter Aguilar was perfectly open. 88-75, another baker's dozen spread for Anejo.
Well, the scoring has indeed picked up here in the 4th period.
Foul Aguilar.
Aguilar just collected his 4th personal. So it's back to the stripe for Samboy Lim. Well, whether the foul was committed in the act of shooting or not, it really didn't matter because Anejo had been in penalty since the last couple of minutes. Samboy looking for his 20th marker tonight. It's there. 88-77. They're still fighting the dust of Anejo to the tune of 11 points. 5 minutes and 20 left. First outing the Old Filipino for both ball clubs. Philip against Ives Dignadice. Dante Gonzalgo trying to get away from Samboy Lim. Good motion offense being displayed here by Anejo, but they can find an opening. Shot clock down to 3 seconds. Philip Cesar
says thank you to Giselle Angeles for tapping the ball to him.
Back to a 13-point spread for Anejo. 90-77. Angeles.
Offensive foul, Angeles.
An offensive foul by Angeles. It was a very painful experience there for Peter Aguilar.
In the mouth. You can't fault him for trying, though.
Samboy has just been relieved by Norman Black, a well-deserved rest for the Dragon, but in his absence, I wonder what the fate of San Miguel will be in these last 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
Maybe there'll be somebody else who'll come up with a scoring burst.
Right now, the scoring burst is still going on the Anejo side of the floor. 92-77. That's a 15-point mountain that San Miguel will have to climb with only 4 minutes and 17 left. Offensive rebound by Ives. The follow-up, and he's called for an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, Ticadice.
Nothing's going right for San Miguel Beer tonight.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
They need to regroup during this timeout. A whopping 15-point lead for Anejo, and the 65ers seem to be cruising to an easy victory over the defending champions in the All-Filipino. What with the badly decimated ranks of the San Miguel Beermen. 92-77 is the official count, and Sonny Jaworski has the leather for the 65ers. He's looking down at his guard, and that's Hector Calma. Chito Luizaga against Samboy. Jockeying for position is Peter Aguilar. At the right corner, Daddy Gonzalgo waiting for the ball to get to him. Instead, Luizaga launches it from 25. Won't go. Hefty rebound there for Ives Dignatice, and the fall away by Agustin gives San Miguel 2 points, but they're still looking at a 13-point deficit. 92-79. 3 minutes and 37 left. A good deal of the San Miguel fans seem to have waved the white flag of surrender. A lot of them are making a beeline for the nearest exits. A turnover for San Miguel Beer with 3:25 in the game clock. 92-79 is the count. Here's Hector Calma. They haven't really gotten all that much mileage from Hector tonight in terms of points. Lim works it right back to Postanes. Jaworski reached in. Flesh against flesh. Postanes will go to the line. That's going to be the third for Jaworski.
Even a tough guy like Postanes holding on to his hand to check if all the fingers are still there.
Well, that was really a hard slap on the wrist by Jaworski. Postanes looking for his 8th marker tonight. Well, the guy is making hay while the sun shines. He knows that the only opportunities he can get for this kind of playing time would be in the absence of such stalwarts as Alvin Teng and Mon Fernandez. And he certainly is showing his worth tonight, despite what seems to be the losing cause of San Miguel Beer.
Well, San Miguel Beer had been able to make some of the free throws they'd missed. This would have been a closer game.
You can say that again. 92-79. Am I glad you're not Dr. J, because he would have really said it again.
Don't you miss walking sometimes?
Well, we got 2 minutes and 59 left in the ball game. Chito Luizaga standing right in the path of Postanes, but not even the barrel chest of Luizaga could prevent that heroic drive of Postanes.
Still mathematically possible for San Miguel Beer to stage an uprising at this point. It's only an 11-point lead, and
94-81. Okay, again, the game clock has been frozen. It reads 2 minutes and 29. Philip Cesar just picked up his 2nd personal, and for the umpteenth time tonight, Samboy is on the stripe, you know. He's been so lovey-dovey with that stripe, they ought to get married now.
So Samboy Lim looking at the scoreboard, probably thinking, puede pa?
Well, mathematically, yes. But the probability is practically nil at this point.
Yes, it looks like San Miguel Beer is really spent, especially their first stringers.
94-83. They're chipping away at that lead at 1 point every minute. They've just run out of minutes with only 2 minutes and 12 left in the game clock.
7 on the shot clock.
7 seconds, shot clock.
We're approaching the twilight zone. Ives Ignatice with another attempt at a heist.
6 seconds, shot clock.
6-second shot clock. One more time around the block for the red shirts. Here's Chito Loizaga. Devastating screen set up there by Dante Gonzalgo. Still a failure by Chito. And here comes Samboy.
Last 2 minutes.
Samboy punctuating the last 2 minutes with a nice effort. And these last 2 minutes brought to you by Emperador Brandy. Enjoy it like a king. Enjoy this timeout too. Exact time remaining reflected at the bottom right-hand side of your screens. There's really not that much time for San Miguel Beer to mount a rally, but like we said, it's still possible.
This is a 9-point lead.
And then Anejo is using the luxury.
Gonzalgo, 3 points.
And Gonzalgo finally got his ICBM through, 97-85, and that may well have put the game out of reach for the defending champions. Certainly, that unproductive thrust did not help their cause one bit. And in the background, you can hear the familiar chanting of the die-hard Anejo fans. The runners-up in the first conference are well on their way to posting their first victory in the All-Filipino. Getting up on the right foot. Jaworski. Oh,
25 seconds.
25 seconds, violation.
But this is the part of the ball game with a minute and 4 seconds to go and you're up by 12. You don't really mind committing a 25-second violation.
Well, they probably will do it again next time around. Right after this timeout. With 1 minute and 4 seconds left in this basketball game, only half of the 10,000 who were around at the beginning of this game are still here. And there's a mid-air collision between Samboy and Philip Cesar, which will put Samboy right back to the 15-foot line on Cesar's third personal. It would appear academic at this point with exactly 60 seconds or 1 minute left in the game clock and a 12-point lead going for the Anejo Rum 65ers. Well, at least San Miguel Beer can look for a more decent defeat by chopping down that deficit to maybe about 6 or 5 points.
Full-court press by the Beer men.
Jaworski crowded by Hector and Samboy and Otto Agustin.
That's only the 15th foul for San Miguel Beer. 56 seconds remaining, so they may gamble on making some steals here.
Otto Agustin giving up the foul on Jaworski.
Foul, Agustin.
Let's see, they still have one team foul to go before they hit penalty.
50 seconds remaining.
That's the 17th foul for San Miguel Beer.
Foul, Ignatice.
And they only used up 1 second of the clock. They're still in there, slugging away. 1 foul per second. How about this?
Foul, Calma.
Okay, big hit penalty. Rudy Distrito, the victim of the foul, will be taking 2 free throws. Well, if you ask me, this is simply prolonging the agony of San Miguel Beer. But then it speaks so well of the team spirit that they're still trying, despite all the odds being stacked against them at this juncture.
This, for me, is the main difference between covering the PBA and the PBL. In the PBL, we are using pro rules, and the players are being sent to the line in an effort to get the ball back. The big difference here is in the PBA, the players make the free throws.
That's true. Another foul given up by Hector, freezing the clock at 43 seconds.
Foul, Calma.
That's the 4th personal for the director, who hasn't been his usual self tonight. He has been responsible for only 10 points. Only because Hector Calma on any given day would be good for at least 15 or 16.
Well, Anejo Rum 65 gets to the century mark.
100 to 87. Well, don't leave us after this ball game, ladies and gentlemen, because immediately following will be the delayed telecast of the first game. That's right, the match that preceded this one between Anejo and San Miguel, and that is the encounter between the Presto Tivolis and the Pepsi Cola Hotshots.
And you'll be surprised at how close that game will be.
And Butch Maniego here will be doing that with Mr. Ed Picson, who has already gone home. That'll give him the luxury of watching himself on TV. I wonder if he likes watching himself on TV. Good-looking fellow, huh? Reminds you of Paul Salcedo and Rogelio de la Rosa.
Who, Edgar?
Edgar. Will you disagree, Mr. Maniego?
No, I don't disagree at all.
Okay, let's set the record straight. 103-89.
Of course, you might say he's more of a Cary Grant type dashing figure.
Let's not go that far now. I mean, that compliment is reserved for Commissioner Leo Prieto.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Old-timers who have seen the movies of Cary Grant will be struck by the uncanny resemblance between the founding commissioner of the PBA and the matinee idol of Hollywood during the 40s. Rudy. 4 seconds left. 105-89. Everything has been settled in this ball game, but the final winning edge of Anejo Rum. 105-89, a 16-point winning advantage for the 65ers who have just posted their first victory in the All-Filipino. On the other hand, the defending champions went off to defend their crown on the wrong foot, losing their very first match.